anything to do with indices, and I'm going to have this page open in my log table, so page 21 there. Take time to get familiar with some of these rules because you'll be using them a good bit over time. And you know, you mightn't get a specific question on indices, but you will use them a lot of the time. So what we're going to look at is, I'd like you to rewrite 3 to the power of 2x in as many different ways as you possibly can. You should really pause the video and try and rewrite it. And in a few minutes, I'll be asking you to rewrite 3 to the power of 2x plus 1. It's actually it's going to be a waste of your time if you don't pause the video and have a go at doing this yourself. So rewrite it like in 10 different ways if possible. Like, I mean, there's actually a ridiculous amount of different ways that you could rewrite this. And it's just to see what's the same as what if I get stuck in a question. So pause the video, try and rewrite this in 10 different ways. Give yourself that aim maybe. Then press play. You can have a look at the ways that I've rewritten it. There's way more than that than what I'll put down here. And then again, you'll try it with this one, maybe knowing what you know up here now. Is there, 10 different ways to rewrite this one? So you'll pause the video at that point as well. And then you can press play and you'll see maybe different ways that I might rewrite it. So once you've had a go, you can see that, right, what is 3 to the power of 2x, 3 to the power of 2x made up of? Well, it's made up of 3 to the power 2 to the power of x. How am I getting that? Well, actually, again, I'm saying have your indices page open. Look at this one. This says, if you have this, then you can do this, which is all that I have done. You could decide to work that out. That's 3 to the power 2 is 9. So that's 9 to the power of x. You could decide that, right, what's 3 to the power 2x? Well, that's 3 to the power of x plus x. Doesn't that give you 2x? And then I might go to my log tables and I might use this rule. If I have 3 to the power of x plus x, that's 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of x. So all of these are the exact same thing. If you're if you have something and you multiply it by itself twice, that's the same as saying 3 to the power of x to be squared. And why is it that I can write it as 3 to the power 2 to the power of x or 3 to the power of x to the power 2? Well, the rule in the log table says here that if you have 3 to the power of 2 times x, then you can write it as 3 to the power 2 to the power of x. But 2 times x is the same as x times 2. So you can write it as 3 to the power of x to the power of 2. Other ways to write it. Could I write it as 1 times 3 to the power 2x? Of course I could. Could I write it as minus 1 times minus, maybe, and then minus 1 times minus 1 times 3 to the power of 2x? Yeah. There's so many different ways that I could look at this. Could I write it as 3 to the power of 2x over 1? Yeah. Could I write it as... Now, I'm going to maybe have a look at using maybe this rule here. Could I have it as 3 to the power of 2x over 3 to the power 0. What is anything to the power 0? Anything to the power 0 is 1. So that's the same as 3 to the power 2x over 1. There's just so many different ways that I could write it. This one here is nearly probably the most commonly seen way of rewriting it. That doesn't mean it's any better than any of the rest. It just means that in videos later on you might see me rewriting things like that. So have a go with this one. Use your rules. Rewrite it in as many different ways as you possibly can. And once you've had a go at that, you can press play again and I'll have a look at it. But I always have my log tables open here, ready to check. So 3 to the power 2x plus 1. Well, I have addition there. So that's 3 to the power 2x times 3 to the power 1. That's the same as just 3 times 3 to the power 2x. Some people might be tempted to multiply the 3 by the 3, but you can't do that. Just be very careful how you do that. It's not maybe that you can't do it, but BIMDAS says that you have to work out your indices or deal with your indices before you do any multiplication. So be very careful that you don't just impulsively multiply the 3 by the 3. What else can I do? Well, I have all these ways of rewriting 3 to the power 2x up here. So, I mean, even just the fact that this is 3 times 3 to the power 2x, and we've seen that 3 to the power 2x is that. So it's 3 times 3 squared times x. Or, you know, it's 3 times 9 to the power of x. You know, it's 3 times 3 to the power 2x. And so now I'm just going, right, it's 3 times this, because that's the same as that. Or it's 3 times this, because that's the same as that. And I could do that the whole way along, which means, you know, it's 3 times this. How else could I look at it? Could look at it. Any other rule? Perhaps again, you could look at it like that, you know, 3 to the power of 2x plus 1 over 3 to the power 0. There's just so many ways of rewriting things in maths. See if you can even find more. There's plenty more.